Hello guys and welcome to this video. Today I would like to talk about this little device, the Xim4. And what the Xim4 allows you is to basically use mouse and keyboard on your favorite console. Either PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One or Xbox 360. Now let me get this small device out of the box to show you a little bit how it looks. I myself have a PlayStation 4 as you can see here. But it works on Xbox One, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 as well. Also you can see that my equipment is pretty dusty, so sorry for that guys. I did not notice that when I was recording, but I see it right here. Anyway, this is how the Xim4 looks and what it does. On the front you have two USB ports, one for your mouse, one for your keyboard. And when we flip it over you have also two USB ports on the back, a small one and a big one, and a button to connect. And the big one is to connect your Xim to your console and the small one is to connect your controller. It does not need an external power supply, so you get a cable less. So you only connect your controller, your mouse, your keyboard and the cable from the Xim to the PlayStation 4. That's it. I currently have my mouse and keyboard plugged in into my PC, but let me show you how it looks inserted into the Xim. So I've plugged everything in, the keyboard into the keyboard port and the mouse into the mouse port, of course my Logitech mouse and my Corsair keyboard. It has two cables, one for lightning, which you usually don't have in the keyboard, but you don't need it anyway. You have to use that kind of switch for the BIOS setting. Difficult story, but it works. Then you have the controller that you need to have plugged in, of course, and the cable from the Xim to your PlayStation 4 or other console that you might have. Then let me prove it to you that it works. When you see here I press the keyboard WASD to walk forward, press the spacebar to jump, and I can also of course use the mouse to fire my weapon. As you can see, when I move my mouse it reacts just like it would on the PC on first sight. So this is a small demonstration that it actually works on my PlayStation 4. Then the following things that you probably would like to know are: is it the same as on the PC? Is it like the same mouse and keyboard feeling that you got on the PC without any compromise or any feeling that it is being emulated? Because if it feels like a simulation, what good would that be? You would never have the true experience as on your PC. If so, the second question will probably be: is it detectable on the console? Because if it is detectable, will Sony or Microsoft be really happy that you use a mouse and keyboard? And would that something that you would be banned for? Well, that is something that leads us to the third question. Is using a mouse and keyboard on your console cheating? And are you really better with it than a controller? I think that's the most interesting question of this all. Well, I put it to the test and I would love to show you the results. And of course, last but not least, my final verdict, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the costs. Okay, while I am telling, I'll put a little clip of Battlefield 4 on the background that I just played today and recorded it, so we have something to watch at while we're talking. Unfortunately, the PS4 quality is only 720p, so it looks a little bit uglier than on PC. So let's go back to the first question. Is it the same as on the PC? So exactly the same mouse and keyboard feeling without any compromise on the console? Well, the short answer is yes. It only does not give you the exact feeling as on a PC, but it also gives you a lot more configurable options. An example, it allows you to use different settings and sensitivities for aiming down in sight and for hip firing. You can configure everything on the PC, on or your smartphone, just like on the official instruction video from Xim4 you see right now. Everything you configure and adjust is being processed real time on the Xim4. So you don't necessarily first have to connect it on a PC and then adjust it. You can real time adjust everything. So here you can see you can adjust different settings from aim down at sight or hip fire configurations. There's also something called ballistic curves, and that allows you to give you some kind of boost while turning. It's a difficult story perhaps, but It's one of the most discussed things on the Xim4 forums. So you can configure it to anything you want. The long answer is yes, but you have to put a lot of effort into it. Don't expect it to be a miracle device directly when you unbox it and connect it to your console. You need to do a lot of configuration until you find the sweet spot for yourself, and that depends really if you're a low, mid or high sensitivity player and if you want to use a ballistic curve, yes or no. There are some negative messages on the internet about guys saying the Xim4 does not do exactly the same things as on the PC, but I think that's mainly because they did not put enough time in the Xim4 configuration, because if you configure it well, you can do really awesome with the Xim4. It has a great community and the people on the forum are always willing to help you with whatever question you have. So yes, it does feel the same as on the PC, with a little configuration however. Okay, the second question was, is it detectable? Well, I got a short answer on that. No, it's not detectable. That is because the Xim4 is not a hack or something that adjusts gameplay, game files or whatever. The only thing that Xim4 actually does is get the original controller signal and allows you to control that controller signal also with your mouse and keyboard. Meanwhile, you can just use your controller if you want to control the game. But your console, your Xbox or your PlayStation always will think that it only is a controller that is playing. It will not see anything else, it's not something extra that you plug in, it will only see it as a controller. So no, it's not detectable, it will not detect it because it simply just thinks you're playing with a controller. Then the third question, is it cheating and are you actually really better with Xim4 and for that with mouse and keyboard? Well, when it comes to cheating, if you will tell your console buddies that you are actually using a mouse and keyboard on the console, the first thing that they will say, that's cheating. That's cheating, that's definitely what they will say. The question is, why would it be cheating? They will say because it will give you a bigger advantage over using a regular controller. Well, the thing I'm asking myself is, a controller like the Xbox One Elite controller that also gives you far more advantage over a normal controller? Or what about a fight stick for fighting games? A steering wheel for race games? Those things are allowed third-party controllers. Isn't a mouse and keyboard also not just an alternative controller? So in my opinion, it's a little bit of a gray area if you call a mouse and keyboard cheating. I can remember back when Unreal Tournament was released on the PlayStation 2 or 3, can't really remember, you were also able to use a mouse and keyboard just when plugging it in on USB ports. It would support it, recognize it, and you could play Unreal Tournament with your mouse and keyboard just as a third-party controller. There are also some programmable USB sticks available which allows you to use things like rapid fire, fast aim, and all kinds of weird stuff that you would never able to do yourself. I think those things are actually cheating devices. So if it's cheating, I don't really know the answer. I think there's a lot of discussion going on about it. Then the second question, are you better with the mouse and keyboard? Well, I can't deny that, yes, you are better with the mouse and keyboard. At least that is if you are a PC gamer. If you do not have any PC experience, then I think you might want to stick to the controller. It also very depends on the game. I did test it on the two most played multi-platform games on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, which are Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and Battlefield 4. The first game that I played was Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I also recorded this small clip today to show you how it looks with Xim4 on the PlayStation 4. Also, again, very sorry for the 720p HD quality instead of 1080p. But anyway, the first game that I played on my PlayStation 4 with Xim4 was this game, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 I never played on a PC, and to be honest, I did never seriously play Black Ops 2 or 1. So it was a complete new game for me to start with Xim4 on my PlayStation 4. And with the result of that, I pretty sucked. I got 1 kill 1 death all the time, you know, kill death ratio of 1. Then after some tweaking, some curve tweaking, changes sensitivity of my hip fire and ADS, unlock a good gun like this gun, the Vesper, it got a little bit better, and it kept continuing going better, until I finally got some good scores with my Xim4. On Battlefield 4, however, I was doing much better. This was because I already owned Battlefield 4 on the PC and played it a lot already. Which ended up playing my first match, or one of my first matches, with 32-4. You can see it here on the screenshot. I'm still level 1 and I only had a starting gun without any attachments. Well, I don't get these scores every day, but I'm far better on Battlefield 4 than I am on Black Ops 3. Sometimes I also get something like a 36-4 score on Black Ops 3, but usually I just ended up in a kill death ratio of 3 or something. And why is there such a difference? And that's not only because I'm used to Battlefield 4. No, there's another thing in the games. That's called aim assist. In case you're not familiar with aim assist, on the consoles it's very hard to aim without any assist. If you have to purely aim with your thumbsticks, it's gonna be a very hard time. So with the introduction of, I think it was Halo 1 on the original Xbox, they introduced the shooting genre on the console with the aim assist feature. What the aim assist pretty much does is it will give you some kind of a soft aimbot. When you're aiming at someone, it will make sure your aim will stick on the target. This is very noticeable with Black Ops 3. And for that, a good console player who can turn pretty fast with a controller is pretty good. It's pretty hard to kill when you're up against them. Well, on Battlefield 4 you have very soft aim assist. It's very subtle there. And there are also some servers which definitely do not have aim assist. And on those servers you definitely have a very big advantage over the other players. Let me tell you, in my opinion, there are 4 kind of players. You have the really noob players, which have usually in a team deathmatch a score of like 4 to 12 and have a negative kill death ratio. Then you got the average Joes, let's call them that, which usually end up somewhere in the middle and have a kill death ratio of 1, let's say 1. Then you have the very good players, which usually end up in the top 3. And then you have the pro players, not really pros, but the very good players, which always end up number 1, sometimes number 2, but usually end up number 1 with a very big difference in score. Well, I think most players are usually noobs or average Joes. They end up in the middle somewhere, maybe a little bit up in the middle, or are just completely casual players who just like to play a match sometimes for their enjoyment and don't really care if they really lose or win. So if you're an average Joe on the PC, then you are doing far better on the console than on the PC. You are able to kill a lot of these console average Joes and console noob players than you would do on the PC. But the problem is, if you meet a console pro player or a very good console player, you're going to have a hard time killing that player on the console. So that means that you probably will not get those ridiculous kill death ratio scores, because you get killed sometimes by these really good players. So please be prepared for that. There are sometimes definitely matches where you only encounter average Joes and you get ridiculously high scores, but please remember that there are also scores which are not doing so well. I mean, that just happens. So to summarize things, is it the same as on the PC? Yes, it is the same as on the PC. Is it detectable on the console? No, it's not detectable on the console. Is it cheating? Well, I think that's a gray area. It's a good discussion point. Are you better? Yes, I think we can conclude that you are definitely better with the mouse and keyboard than with a regular controller. And then we are coming to the final verdict and the cost of the Xim4. My final verdict: I think the Xim4 is a great device. I also forgot to tell one thing. You are also able to use any kind of controller, so an example, an Xbox Elite controller on your PlayStation 4 and vice versa. It allows you to use all kinds of third-party devices, but it is mainly made for mouse and keyboard on your console. So another thing that we gotta discuss left is the cost of the Xim4. If you go to their website here, you can order it by going to shop, and it will cost something like, I thought $120, yeah, $124.99. That is not very cheap, but I think it's definitely worth the price. The only thing is, what you gotta remember is, if you're not living in the United States of America, which I do, I live in Europe, it's hard to get those Xim4s. You have some partner websites which sell them, but I just ordered it directly from the United States, and it was something like $20 or $30 of shipping, and it came by FedEx, but it comes very fast. It only took like 2 days because it was FedEx priority. So if you're living in Europe, you can get it really fast from the United States directly with FedEx priority. The only thing is that I got a bill afterwards, a couple of days, from FedEx, which I had to pay like $40 import tax. So in total it costed me almost $200, which is really much if you consider that I paid like 250 euros for my PlayStation 4, and yeah, it was almost the price of that PlayStation 4. So you have to consider that. If you're living in the United States, then you're definitely get it for this price with a little bit of shipping. But yeah, it cost this around this, and I think it's very much worth it. On the website, you get very great, let's see, very great community. Let's see if I can go back. My accounts. No, let's go back. Can I go back to the Xim website? Yes, I can. Okay, on the forum you have great instructional videos. I mean, on the website you have great instructional videos, and you also have a great forum, which a lot of members are really helpful, really kind. I asked my first question here, and people were really friendly, really helpful. You don't get flamed. Just make sure you read the starting posts, and you will be fine. I mean, that's basically everything. So good luck with Xim4, and if you have any questions on setting it up, which configurations, you can always check this website out, or you can ask me directly. I would love to help you with any questions you have about Xim4. So thank you very much, guys. I hope to see you at the next video, and take care.